This is Wealth Commander. When you're attached to the outcome of something, you emit heavy emotions in the frequency of need, lack, fear, scarcity, all the things we don't want to emit. Okay, we don't want the field reflecting these vibes back to us. We don't want the field to reflect scarcity back to us. But when you're not attached to the outcome of something, you remain neutral and clear, and the channel is open to receive. Okay, the field is clear for us to create. So, again, be conscious, be self-aware. What is distorting your field? What in your life, your business, your relationship is distorting your field? Are you in self-sabotage or are you in self-value? Self-value is the certainty that you're sovereign, and it's the baseline currency for all wealth channels. Your wealth channels collapse into your sovereignty when you stop negotiating with your self-value. You are the one as standard default, and your wealth, your impact, your influence have nothing to do with anybody else but you. Through low self-value and high self-sabotage, I let people abuse me during my life when I was abusing myself. Okay, so I allowed it. I let people abuse me when I was abusing myself. So this meant that the vibration of abuse felt normal to me. It felt acceptable because I was running an abusive vibration myself. So if somebody else abused me, then it just felt normal to me. Okay, it felt absolutely fine. I also let people bully me. But again, this was when I was sabotaging and bullying myself. So again, the vibration felt normal to me. What we are attracting is what we're putting out. Okay, so if I'm not respecting myself, then I can expect people within my reality to not respect me and to show me disrespect. But this is really amazing. This is, a great breakthrough, because if somebody is within your reality disrespecting you or treating you in a certain way or being unkind in a way that feels uncomfortable to you, you can always bring this back to yourself. And where is this in me? Where am I emitting this signal first? Because the reality is you first. You go first. The reality responds. The universe responds. All these frequency alignments are proof that we attract what we are, and that we're manifesting from the 5D quantum field into the 3D physical plane in real time. I mean, sometimes it takes the 3D a while to catch up, because the energetic realms, the energy, the atom is pure energy waveform. It hasn't collapsed into the physical yet, so that can take a little bit of time for the 3D to catch up. And when we take responsibility for what we attract into our reality, we can ask ourselves, what is it within my own energy that's attracting this into my field? And we shift, we recalibrate, we call in lost soul parts from the fractured psyche that wants to come back into wholeness. And the more whole the psyche becomes, and the more whole the reality becomes, the more whole the desires and intentions of the heart become. And because our businesses are an extension of our sovereign energy signatures, the more whole we become, the more whole our businesses are, and the more solid our businesses are, and vibrating in our source codes, in our sovereign energy signature, attracting our clients, attracting our dream clients on the same frequency. So the more authentic you are in yourself, in your business, attracts your authentic soul clients. With intention and sovereign broadcast, we can command the true desire frequency of the heart, and we know with certainty that the universe will respond, because it already does when we go first. And we can see this in what we're attracting into our realities, that is already within us first. When we go first as the wealth commander, the universe responds in our wealth creations. Okay, it's all aligned, it's all frequency. So if we're reacting to our reality, being unaware that we're creating the reality, then this just creates this back and forth, distorted echo chamber because we are the cause and the reality is the effect, and we are responsible for both. So we clear the cause and then we clear the effect. I hope that makes sense. Like a mirror, it's like putting two mirrors together. It reflects an infinite vision when you put two mirrors together. If there's distortion in one of the mirrors, it will distort the entire reality. Whereas if the mirror is clear, the reality is clear. When you go first as the source broadcasting from sovereign commands, the universe is the echo, not the source. You are the sourced. Sourced? You are the source. You're the broadcast. Okay? Broadcasting your sovereign command into the universe, where the universe is the echo of you. It is not the source. Life is not happening to you. Life is happening by you and for you. The wealth commander doesn't wait for reality to validate. Okay, reality responds to the command. Reality responds to you as the commander. And once again, that's whether you're being the wealth commander in your self-value or whether you're being the self-saboteur in your self-sabotaging your channels. So again, that's wealth channels versus sabotage channels. And we are responsible for all of them. And across your whole life, you're going to have wealth channels and you will have sabotage channels. But until you're aware that you are responsible and that these channels even exist, you can't change them. So now you're aware of them, that you can be running wealth channels and sabotage channels in different areas of your life. Now you can attend to them. I also let people bully me in the workplace instead of standing up for myself and what was right for me and what was right for everybody, because I was afraid of the people who I was giving my power away to, and my success at that time was conditional on others. Okay, so we place people on pedestals, and this is the number two in effect. This is us looking up to others in a really unhealthy way. It's great to have role models and to be inspired by people, but not to put ourselves beneath anybody. Okay, we all lead on the same level, no matter who we are, no matter what job we're in, how much money we make, we are all equal. We must never put somebody else on a pedestal. Okay, there's no such thing as someone who is above you. There is no such healthy thing as a guru. We're all on the same level, having a human experience at different levels of consciousness. And so at work, where I would sometimes experience bullying, I overgave to the person or to the relationship with the person who paid my salary or my bills or paid my son's supports and schooling and paid my mortgage, because I mistook that person as the source of my income and wealth when I am the source. I am wealth. I am the wealth channels. And that person, that relationship, that job was a channel for the wealth to flow through. So my job, my career was not the source of my income. I was the source of my income, and the job was the wealth channel. Your job, your career, your business, your relationship, whatever, is not the source of your wealth. You are the source, and that external job, career, relationship is simply a channel for you to receive through. I am wealth, but money comes to you through people and relationships. So we also must make sure we network and love consciously, and that we practice kindness and compassion at the same time practicing self-respect and self-love and self-value. And so, money doesn't grow legs and come and knock on your door asking to live with you. Money comes to us through relationships and channels in size proportion to how open you are to receiving as a clear vessel for money to flow through. And this means living in an abundance reality, not in a scarcity reality. So the core there, the root, is living in self-value, not living in self-sabotage. Self-sabotage will sabotage your wealth, will sabotage your money, will sabotage your relationships, your time freedom, your everything freedom, your location freedom. Self-sabotage sabotages your entire reality. You'll live in a scarcity reality, whereas self-value, you're living in the abundance reality, but the wealth abundance. Because, you can have, not just to go off on one here, but you can have an abundance of debt. You can have an abundance of scarcity, hence why we refer to wealth channels as it pertains to anything that is of value to you. Okay, wealth channels as it pertains to something being of value to you, a wealth of something that is valuable to you. So if you live in an abundance reality, your wealth channels are abundant. If you live in a scarcity reality, your wealth channels are scarce, as the name implies. Okay, when you're faced with a challenge, do you default to problem solving and possibilities and excitement and creation and innovation? Or do you go into a fear and worry mode? Okay, so one is infinite. Okay, the defaulting to problem solving and to possibilities is infinite. There are infinite possibilities. There are infinite ways to solve problems. There are infinite different scenarios and different strategies we can take to reach our vision. And the finite version is the fear, the worry. This is the shutdown. This is finite, limited. Okay, worrying, fear, they restrict us, they close us down. We shut down in fear. And this is very much, once again, related to childhood trauma and having no ability to hold the big emotions that we need to get used to feeling. So one is infinite and one is finite. The quantum field uses a frequency response behavior. It mirrors your level of wealth consciousness, not your skills, not your qualifications, and not your credentials. So, even when I think about my career again, I have skills and qualifications and credentials coming out of my ears. But because I had low self-value, I distorted my vision. We're raised in a society where external validation measures our personal value and provides us with feedback around our performance and skills and intelligence levels from nursery to school to the workplace and most government systems. And this is because we're fulfilling their vision and their mission. The vision and mission of the school, of the workplace, of the business. We're always fulfilling somebody else's vision and mission and not our own. This is why the 3D economy dictates what jobs are available and what skills are required via market demand in a world where we're fulfilling other people's dreams and desires while our own vision remains blocked. And this is exactly where the excitement and passion and love of being an entrepreneur comes in. Because in the 5D New World economy, you create your own jobs through your business, your terms, and your way. You create the demand. In the 3D economy, we allow others to measure us and define us based on somebody else's vision and goals, and where we're rarely asked what our own vision is. We are literally in the vibe of, define me and rate me and value me, authorize me, score me. Okay? Do you see how much power we give away? Do you like me? Do I look pretty? Does this look good on me? Does this taste nice? Does this suit me? We really give so much of our power away. Where is your vision? Where's your vision? What about your desires? Your dreams aren't just aspirations, they're coordinates to your purpose, and your entire field is encoded with them behind the static. If you realize that you are the currency, the entire 3D economy could collapse. We'd all manifest everything we want, whether that's money or whatever whatever we would buy with the money. But we would manifest everything, and we wouldn't need to be in a job that we hate, aligning with somebody else's vision that's not our vision, that we're energetically not aligned with, living a lie just to survive on this planet. We'd manifest everything we wanted if you realized that you are the currency. But instead, we're raised in a society that keeps us suppressed in low consciousness. And we're taught that wealth is earned and that money is earned, not a sovereign birthright. We're so conditioned to lock into external visions and other people's wealth in business and organizations that we forget about ourselves, and we forget about our own self-value and our own wealth channels. We're misaligned with our own purpose and our own highest destiny. Especially if your own vision is blocked, we think it's a great idea to help someone to achieve their vision instead of our own. But then we abandon our own vision and we forget about our own vision. We think we're happy aligning with somebody else's vision when we have our own vision. We forget, what about you? What about your vision? And then when we see others as being wealthy or rich or famous or whatever, we focus on the gap. Okay, we focus on the gap, on what we don't have. We focus on what we don't have, but what we want or what we desire, and the victim mentality kicks in. And this can show up as, jealousy or envy even. We can't see the vision. We want what others have. And then we feel stuck in this scarcity loop that I have no vision. I want what they've got, but I feel stuck. And we keep telling ourselves we feel stuck. And so, of course, we remain stuck in this scarcity loop that we're just looping, scarcity loops that we loop. Instead of focusing on the lack triggered by these gaps, we can switch that and we can see these gaps as opportunities for growth and expansion. It's a learning opportunity. You can even see it as, a learning needs analysis. This is where I am. This is where I want to be. And it might be something you've seen that you desire in somebody else, or, I want what they've got. So we can do this learning needs analysis. What do we need to do to close that gap? Okay, what do I need to close the gap between where I am now and where I want to be? Where can I add more self-value to close this gap? So it's really, rather than feeling jealous or envious, it's an opportunity for growth and expansion and evolution around something we want or a desire of the heart. But once again, we've been conditioned into thinking that something we desire is us being greedy, and we shut it down, and instead we focus on the lack and the scarcity instead of being excited that we now have a new growth opportunity and being in the field of possibilities and what is possible for us. I've managed performance reviews in the corporate world for decades where someone literally scores you and judges you in relation to how you performed, trying to fit into somebody else's vision. And then they decide how much you're worth, trying to squash starlight into somebody else's mold that you just don't fit into. And we let this score set by an external body who hardly knows us affect our level of self-value. And, somebody who is clearly unconscious and lacks self-awareness to think that they have the power to score and judge us in our own performances with no, like, zero access to our sovereign field and who we really are. But that's something that only we know. And so ultimately, we must accept that responsibility for our own growth and evolution and clearing the distortion and static and the field to our vision through self-value as the wealth commander, which opens up our wealth channels. Because the moment you accept somebody else's score, you accept the prison. If somebody else is validating you, if you are dependent and attached to these external validations and external authorities or other people's scores of you, then you accept the psyche prison, okay? The wealth commander doesn't ask for a rating. They just are the standard. The wealth commander is the standard, sets the standard, is the standard. But this is how disconnected we are from ourselves. And it's part of the 3D matrix conditioning to keep us locked into the psyche prison of control. So I want you to listen to this very short starlight contract, okay? Party of the first part, or you acknowledge and command that all previous external valuations of you are hereby nullified. Party of the second part, or the universe agrees to remit payment in starlight, sovereignty, and in 5D wealth channels. Signed by you, by her sovereignty's fangs and certainty. Okay? You are the value. The rest is static. Your self-value commands your wealth channels as reflections of you in the quantum mirror. But what exactly does this mean? We already discussed earlier that when we refer to wealth, it means an abundance of something valuable to you. So it needs those two elements. Wealth is an abundance of something that is valuable to you. You decide what wealth means to you, whether that's business or relationships or time. We've got location, connections, money. These are all wealth channels created by us because we value these things in pure gratitude to a point where we are the channel vibrating at that frequency. We are the wealth channel vibrating at that frequency. And you might value different things to the things I've already mentioned, but your baseline level of self-value determines how much you're open to receiving through these wealth channels, okay? Your sovereign broadcast is the command. Self-value converts into energetic wealth that materializes as 3D wealth, okay? This is literally us working in the stars. The baseline frequency we're talking about is the vibration of your soul when your human is not being asked to apologize for its own power. Just going back to the wealth channels, you can go even deeper into whatever it is that you value. So if you value time, then I am temporal sovereignty. I am free from time. You can stop asking time for permission and occupy every moment fully. Past, present, and future, you track them all simultaneously because time is an illusion and everything exists in the now. The past and future, they only exist in psychic memory and records of the psyche that are records of the akashics. Your presence is the only clock that matters. And if you value money, then I am wealth. I manifest money because I am wealth, and money is a channel that I value in abundance. Self-value is the sovereign origin point of wealth channels. Your starlight crystallizes into money that flows through people and relationships as reflections of your field. The 3D matrix weaponizes generational trauma to sever this connection. And that's within yourself, with others, and with infinite source. Turning money into a control mechanism that must be earned and worked for in scarcity instead of flowing through us as our birthright. Your sovereign frequency cannot be taxed or controlled, and it's your sovereign energy signature, your frequency, that is commanding the wealth channels, and that includes money. So your self-value is your baseline frequency, and money is starlight crystallized. So money doesn't flow to me, money flows through me. My starlight is the source. Money is just one wavelength of my emission. It's just another crystallized frequency. Money is energy. Money is a frequency. It's the frequency of crystallized starlight. If you value location, then I am the coordinates and the compass and the map. You don't move through space. Everywhere you project and anchor your consciousness becomes sovereign territory when your frequency overflows spaces. You're not lost in life. You're the goddamn map navigating itself. If you value relationships, then I am the bond. I am the connection. I am the relationship anchor in my life and business. My word is law to self and to others. You don't build connections. You are the connection through frequency match and by connecting with yourself first. Your signature either attracts trailblazers worth your time or dissolves parasites. The bond is your field, not a bridge. If you want to attract authentic relationships, then be authentic with yourself first. If you want to attract love and respect, then love and respect yourself first. Remember, you go first, the universe responds. Frequency first, energy signature first. Even though I've referred to money throughout this masterclass, wealth, as we've spoken about, does not automatically refer to money, but money is a wealth channel if you value it. I refer to money because we live on a money-driven planet where money is simply a resource and plays a huge part in our daily lives. I refer to money because I love money, and money is one of my wealth channels. And if you don't love money, then I would sit with that and contemplate why. Like what's attached to that? Why do you not love money? You use money every day, so why don't you love something that supports you and supports your family and supports your vision and your business? Why aren't you grateful and loving towards money like you'd be towards something else that you want to attract? So if you were trying to attract a relationship, then you might act loving towards that person because you're trying to attract them. But then we project low frequency emotions onto money and we still expect it to come to us, but we're repelling it instead of attracting it. So why don't you value money when it supports your vision and your mission? So money is just a resource. I've met with clients who have a business, but they don't like to take people's money. They literally don't like to take people's cash, especially, and they always opt for electronic transfers because they don't like the physical act of taking people's money. And I do laugh with them and I think, well, how's that going for you when a business exists to transmit value and receive currency in this equal exchange? A business exists to make money. So if we're in business and we are not open to receiving, then already you're blocking your business because it just won't survive, That's why a business exists. This is where the 3D matrix scarcity program collapses through sovereign command and higher consciousness. You get to decide whether your energy is supporting your reality and wealth creation or whether you're allowing sabotage. If you reject loving money, then you're rejecting the experiences and the things beyond the money that support you in experiencing the most, expansive and exciting human journey. There are things on this planet that I would like to do that cost money. And I never want to ask money for permission. You know, a lifetime moves fast. And I know for me, I want an experience without having to ask money for permission in anything that I want to experience. You command your experiences and creations from the starlight neocortex brain, the sovereign architecture, not the survival brain. You don't run programs, you write them. In the Matrix movie, Neo didn't ask to download fighting and aviation skills. He commanded the program and the Matrix executed it. Money is one of your wealth channels in this simulator. Command the code and the field obeys. The starlight neocortex doesn't process scarcity. It encodes abundance directly into the quantum field. So if you're rejecting money, you're not rejecting paper, you're rejecting your own starlight and the experiences and sovereignty beyond it, where money is crystallized starlight. This is where AI has become more intelligent than some humans. So we both write code and we both run programs through a central processing unit, with ours being our brains, but humans can consciously write code to create through emotional vibration and free will, whereas AI is instructed by humans. You know, there's a big difference. Humans are consciously writing programs through emotional vibration and free will, but AI is instructed by humans. Our thoughts and emotions are the vibrational codes written by you and run by the quantum field as the operating system. Thoughts and emotions are the vibrational codes that are written by you, but run by the quantum field as the operating system. The universe responds by matching that code or frequency in your reality or simulator. This is the operating protocol. The quantum field is the operating system. You are the programmer, and the reality is the execution log. So the 3D reality serves you. It runs your code. You write the code, the quantum field executes it. This means the universe doesn't judge you. This means that everything is available to you. Everything that you have seen in others, everything that you've been envious of or jealous of, that you want to receive, that gap we spoke of earlier, the gap in what others have that you don't have. That means that anything that anybody else has that you want is also available to you. And this is because the universe doesn't judge. It's not being selective on who receives money and wealth and other wealth channels. It's just mirroring our command codes back to us. Your frequency is the command and reality is the output. So when we decide for ourselves that we're not worthy of something, or we're not valuable, or we're not deserving of something, that this is absolute bullshit, because the universe is not judging, it's not judging us, it's literally mirroring back our command. So if we think that we're not worthy, or we're thinking we're not valuable, and we're acting out of self-sabotage, we will reflect those frequencies back to us. It is that simple. You are the quantum fields collapsing atomic realities through command and observation. Self-value on the inside sets the tone for what you magnetize into your field through your wealth channels and that which you value on the outside. When we value things, we're grateful, we're thankful. Okay, so what's within is without. The relationships you attract into your life aren't there by chance. They're attracted by your frequency emission. I recently attracted someone into my life who was being supportive to my face, like extremely supportive to my face, but was being inauthentic and sabotaging me behind the scenes. And my intuition had already told me this. When you're having a conversation with someone, you feel the energy, you can see the facial expressions. The facial expressions don't match the words, the energy doesn't match the words. There's a mismatch in the energy, and these red flags come up, and sometimes we just ignore them, when we don't want to see them. once I stood up to that person and called them out by expanding my capacity to feel that fear, I had to ask myself, where am I being authentic with myself? Remember, we always bring this back to ourselves. So if I attracted someone who was being inauthentic towards me, then I have to ask myself, where am I being inauthentic with myself? Where am I in my self-sabotaging channels? Where am I sabotaging myself? I'm being that saboteur. Um, what else we ask? Where am I blocking my own sovereignty and not being truthful with myself? Where am I not speaking my truth? Where am I not in my frequency of truth? The 3D reality serves you. Your sovereign energy signature defines the 3D reality, not the other way around. So when your signature bleeds, 3D static distorts the broadcast you're projecting, and the field distorts your reality. And this includes your wealth channels. So anxiety and other low frequency emotions are the feedback triggered by the reality where we fractured under pressure. The 3D echoes your emotions scrambled. Your broadcast defines the reality, but when you're broadcasting a fractured frequency, the 3D mirrors that fracture. So it's not serving you wrong, it's serving you exactly what you're transmitting. The feeling is a misaligned broadcast, not a truth. Anxiety arises only when you temporarily forget that you're not separate from your reality and that you're not powerless. You are starlight architecture commanding the field. You are the source code. When you feel static, you don't analyze it. You recalibrate the emotional frequency from self-sabotage to self-value. You retune by feeling the currents, not the idea or the memory behind the current. Okay, this is where frequencies lock and the 3D reality serves you, not the other way around. The 3D serves your sovereign command because we don't do anxiety, we do sovereignty. So ask yourself, question, how can I be of more value, not to others, but to myself, because I am the baseline frequency. If you want to be of service to others, if you want to help others, help yourself first. So money, time, assets, location, relationships, all the wealth channels, they're not sources of wealth. They're reflections of your of your self-wealth, self-value. They're reflections of your self-value. Either you receive through self-value or you block through self-doubts and sabotage. One leads to freedom, the other leads to control, fear, scarcity, all the things we don't want, all the things we want to dissolve. So the visualization of wealth channels reminds me of a crystal, what's it called? A prism. A prism with the rainbow shining through it. So the prism is the self-value, and the rainbow colors are the wealth channels splitting through the prism. So without the prism, there are no colors. Okay. Without self-value, there are no wealth channels, only scarcity channels set through self-sabotage and self-doubt. This realization means being unattached to all wealth channels because they're not the source of your wealth creation. You are. Not work harder or work more or do more or prove yourself more or graft more, okay? But be more of you, be more self-value, be more in your self-value. This means being unattached to external outcomes and relationships and money and freedom and bringing focus back to the self, always coming back, the connection, always coming back to the connection with the self. So the self-value, the self-respect, the self-love, no matter what, okay, it's all about the connection with you. You're the baseline frequency. And if you want to take these wealth channels even to another level, then you can map them out through feng shui guas and work on them as um I forgot the word I'm looking for, through energy and placement, the art of energy and placement within your home and business spaces. So feng shui is all about energy and spaces within your home, within your business. So you can work on your wealth creation and your wealth channels through your spaces. And when I look after myself, my relationships, and my spaces, money looks after itself. And this is where you turn up self-value to the maximum while you embody the high frequency emotions that match your wealth channels. So that being love, excitement, passion, creation, innovation, all of these creative, artistic channels within us that we've all got. Some people say, oh, I'm not creative, I'm not artistic. But then you've just got some distortion, some static in your field to clear. Everyone is artistic. We are creators. We are co-creators with the universe. It's just part of universal law. So these emotions, the love, the excitement, the passion, they turn up the levels of your power, your personal power, your success and impact and influence levels. And this is why when you become obsessed with everything that invokes love, excitement, and passion within you, you're in infinite abundance loops because you'll attract more of the same. When we're obsessed with love, we attract more love. When we're obsessed with excitement, we attract people around us that are excited. And when we're really passionate, again, we attract the same into our field. We live in a universe of mirrors, and what you come up against in your reality is you coming up against yourself or your psyche. Your reality is a reflection of your psyche, of your thoughts, of your emotions. It's all mirrors. Memories are created from the thoughts and emotions of pre-existing experiences and knowledge. So memories are created from the thoughts and the emotions of pre-existing experiences and pre-existing knowledge that's creating our reality. But then we get to create new thoughts and new emotions in real time every day to create a new reality. And I think we forget this. Our reality is very much created based on memory as opposed to us creating a new reality through new thoughts and new emotions right now, and ones that really support you. So I think the moral of this story is really about living in a way that is so aligned with your vision, changing the way you live, that everything you do every morning when you wake up, rather than waking up with anxiety and your stomach flipping and you dreading your day, you wake up and think, right, what can I do today that's new? What can I do to change my trajectory? What can I do to create new stories and new, higher vibrational alignment ways of life? How can I create a new life that supports me, that supports my dreams and passions and desires, and everything that invokes love, passion, and excitement within me? When you live in this high frequency way of life, this impacts everything. This impacts all your wealth channels. When you live in abundance, when you see the good in everything, when you learn to see everything as positive, as something good, as a lesson. The distinction here is sharp. So memories are old code compiled from past experiences and subconscious conditioning. And humans have a habit of living in past memory instead of creating in the present moment. But the thing is, the thing we forget is you're not bound to keep rerunning these programs. You're not bound to keep rerunning these old depressive memories or low frequency, heavy emotional memories that we keep running on repeat. We run these stories day in, day out. We keep living these old stories and these old labels, and it's like Groundhog Day. We're going round and around and these old memories, but it's a choice to keep living them. It's a choice to keep talking about them. It's a choice to keep telling these stories to other people, and we do it for validation. It's an excuse to stay in the pain. We're too afraid to visit the pain and come out of the pain. So we keep telling the same stories for the same validation, and we just stay stuck in these trauma loops. But yeah, so we don't, this is a choice. We're not bound to keep running these old stories. So memories are old code that we don't, we want to release them, let them go. And this releases the emotional charge. We never forget our memories. Well, very rarely. We very rarely forget our memories, but we can defuse them. We diffuse the emotional frequency of them. Okay, so memories are old code compiled from past experiences, subconscious conditioning, whereas sovereignty, on the other hand, means that you write new vibrational instructions in real time that override the old architecture. That's why if you pull in new experiences into your life every day, do something new every day, even just small things, do something new, try something new, go somewhere new, and we start writing new code over the old architecture, okay? Because the quantum field doesn't care about origin of your memories and thoughts and emotions. It just executes the command you broadcast now. So it doesn't matter what's happened to you in your past. It does not matter who you are or what's happened to you in your past. What matters is the new code that you're commanding through your broadcast now, that the quantum field executes for you in real time now. The quantum operating system is that simple. It's humans who overcomplicate things because the 3D matrix programmed you. This masterclass, the Wealth Commander, is a system override to the 3D matrix. This is the reboot by reclaiming your source codes. A reality that supports you takes thoughts and emotions that support you because they are the signature creating it. It's your thoughts and emotions creating your reality. So as your being, ask yourself, are these thoughts supporting me? Is this emotion supporting me? Is this emotion even mine? And I'm allowing this frequency to hijack my command. And if so, then recalibrate the emotional frequency, change the emotion. Remember, converse with the emotion, feel it, learn from it, command it. So feel the emotion, converse with the emotion, learn from the emotion. What is the intelligence behind the emotion? Remember, we called the emotions the higher intelligence guidance system or higher intelligence communication system. Emotions are intelligence. So feel it, learn from it, converse with it, command it. Because stewing in heavy emotions signals the universe to serve you more of the same. The universe matches your vibration because it executes your command. If you command lack of self-value, something or someone will show up in your reality to devalue you. And this is just the law. It's not attraction. This is 5D law. It's not attraction. It's just command execution. So let's take one wealth channel that we can just dissect a little bit here, and we'll take money because everyone loves money. Most people love money. And if you don't love money, then that's exactly why you don't have it, because you're repelling it. You're repelling it through your broadcast. So wealth, to reiterate, wealth is not money, so to speak, but you can have a wealth of money. Money flows through wealth channels that open when your self-value commands them through a pristine, clean field. You command money when you imagine with excitement and abundance all the possibilities available to you and all the doors open for you when money is in your field. Not all the lack and scarcity also available to you. The 3D field serves you exactly what you transmit. You command money when you imagine with excitement and abundance all the possibilities available to you and all the doors open for you and all the different scenarios available to you. Okay, this is what you focus on, not all the lack and scarcity that's also available to you. Because whatever you focus on is what you will be served. Okay, the field serves you exactly what you transmit. So there's an abundance of money available to you. There is also an abundance of debt available to you. You'll be served whichever one you focus your attention on. What's that old saying? Where your attention goes, your energy flows? No. Where energy goes, where your intention goes, your energy flows. I can't remember. I think you know what I'm saying. I just can't remember it. So the field serves you exactly what you're transmitting. Where intention goes, energy flows. Something like that. So the universe will, the 3D field will reflect back to you exactly what you put out. So we have the classic command that people use all the time, like, it's all going wrong. It's all going to go wrong. It will go wrong. And it does all go wrong because you self-doubted and because you just said it's going to go wrong and you meant it. And then you're like, see, I told you it would all go wrong. It always does. And then you're just a self-executing command. You are the command. I told you it would all go wrong. It always goes wrong. See, everything goes wrong for me. Of course it does, because you just said it would and you meant it. Okay. So even if you're looking at your bank account right now and there's, like £1.50 in there or $1.50 in there, what command are you sending to the field? So if you logged onto your internet banking right now and there's £1.50 in there, then how do you feel about that? What command are you sending out to the field? Do you say, I've only got £1.50 in there in this negative vibration? Or do you say, wow, I've got £1.50 in my account in a really positive vibration? Because most people will see the £1.50 and vibrate not enough. But we're remembering the command structure here. Wow or whoa isn't just positive thinking. Whoa isn't just positive thinking. It's sovereign recognition that the field just gave you a focal point wealth channel to imprint gratitude into by saying thank you and more please, and thank you and more please, thank you and more please. Okay, we're injecting positive vibes into everything. We're not going to bring this energy down. When you command the focal point, you command the channel. Self-value is the sovereign frequency. It's more valuable than any currency, and money is the quantum field's response to that signal. The clearer the command, the wider the channel, and the more powerful the overflow. If something or someone icky shows up in your reality, you're immediately responsible for clearing it through its reflection in your own energy signature. But money doesn't mean anything and it carries no emotion apart from the emotion that you assign to it. Otherwise, it's just a neutral particle or resource. The energy signal commanding the field is in what you do with the money, how you spend it, how it flows through you and as you, not to you. Money doesn't flow to you. It flows because money, if it flowed to you implies that that you are the stop point, that you are the end result. But money wants to flow. It's a frequency, it's energy, and energy wants to flow. So money flows through you and as you. That's how you become the fun, excitement, and passion as your native frequency to inject into the manifestation equation by feeling into what you would do with the money. Money becomes the evidence that you remembered you're the party and money has more fun playing with you. Money is energy. It's vibrant. It's energy like water. If you pour money into a glass and leave it, it stagnates and no more can enter. But if you turn that glass into a vessel to receive, the water can flow through and it carries life force, creating capacity for more because it keeps flowing and keeps flowing and keeps flowing. The vessel doesn't hoard in scarcity, it conducts. Your self-value determines your vessel's design as light architecture. Low self-value constricts the flow so that water can only, trickle and it chokes or pulls in fear. Whereas sovereign value expands the vessel into a channel, like an overflowing river or this infinite torus field that is infinite and keeps flowing and flowing, where money flows through you, magnetized by gratitude and accelerated by trust and certainty and completion in your commands and moves. So imagine a punch or a kick. I like Bruce Lee. I love watching Bruce Lee movies. So imagine a punch or kick. A punch or a kick has little impact if it isn't complete in the command and the movement. Significant to this is asking yourself, what do I hold on to that I know I need to let go of? What do I stagnate and dwell in? Do I hold on to emotions by suppressing them? Do I hold on to and worry about external outcomes? Or do I remain detached and in flow? So just ask yourself these questions and, just feel into them about what you hold on to, what you need to let go of, what's stagnating in your field, or what needs to flow. Are you attached to external outcomes, or are you detached and you're just constantly flowing where new information is flowing through your field? Your field holds on to memory. Stagnation, what needs to flow through you to allow for new experiences to flow through your system, as fuel to write for new code to command your 3D reality. So, a stagnant pool, imagine that your field is like a pool, and you can imagine that a stagnant pool holds dead fish, but a flowing river channels life force. We are energy. Everything is energy, and energy wants to flow, not stagnate. Okay, your vessel is either a command tower or a graveyard, and you get to choose. You're here in a free will experience. So you choose, you decide the quality, whether your field is cloudy and murky, or whether it's really clean and clear and rainbow bright and pristine, like crystalline resonance in your field. Because money flows through you when you stop asking permission to exist and you live as pure self-value in this in this crystalline resonance. The more you allow it to move, the more you allow money to move and flow, the more it returns. But it returns cleansed and amplified and sovereign because money wants to flow. And you've just become the ultimate vibrational match as a money manager. A pristine field means a pure channel and a clear vision. Okay? You're visionary coded, your first wave to wealth. A 50K wad of money that you can't do anything with means nothing, but being able to spend it on a new car or putting it on a house deposit or down on, your dream holiday or whatever it is that you would like to do with 50K, imagine that's the excitement, that's the vibe. So you could have the 50 grand in your hands right now, but if you can't spend it, it means nothing. It's what you do with that money. It's where you channel it, where it flows to. Um, and the experience that you buy, you're buying an experience, and that experience has feelings for you, how that would make you feel. And that's the excitement, okay? So it's the transaction, it's the relationship, It's the flow of money and what you can do with it that invokes excitement in the field of possibilities, because you never doubted that money obeys you. It's not the physical money itself, which means nothing. So just to reiterate some of that, it's the focus point is the transaction. It's the relationship between you and the money, and not the money itself. Okay, it's about how the money made you feel when it flows through you and what you'll do with it. You never questioned the flow or the command or the obedience, and that is the sovereign signature. You trust the transaction that money obeys you because you are the transaction. You're the portal that money requires to circulate. The field responds to your money signature because you never questioned the circulation, and that's sovereign trust. Money obeys me because I am the wealth frequency and money flows through me. Money obeys me because I am the wealth frequency money flows through. Do you imagine yourself as living in an abundance reality or a scarcity reality? Because whichever one you command to be true will serve you. The quantum field doesn't apply meaning to anything. We do. The field just obeys us because we are the field. We are the unified field commanding ourselves. I am the quantum field. Your word is the law that money fulfills. It's you who chooses to have it or spend it or invest it. But either way, the choice is yours. Money is a choice. The quantum field doesn't just serve your 3D reality, it is your reality waiting for your command. So stop pretending it's separate. You are not separate from the quantum field. You are the quantum field, okay? You're not an entity floating in the quantum field. You're the field experiencing density, and the matrix taught you to observe yourself as separate. And this is the true metaphor of Adam and Eve being cast out of the Garden of Eden. The quantum field is made of atoms, okay? We all know the quantum field is made of atoms. We're made of atoms. Everything is atoms at different frequencies. We never separated from the field. We're still it. We are still the field. We're just at different densities. We exist across multiple dimensions simultaneously. If you try and imagine this, okay, so we've got source, the creator, God, the quantum field, Mother Nature, whatever you want to call it. I call it source. So source sparked or diffracted a part of itself into a soul part or higher self as you at a lower density, okay? And then your higher self diffracted a part of itself into a human or as you at an even lower density still. And there's more parts of you, there's more parts of you in between source and you. We exist on multiple dimensions, okay? But we're all the same thing. We're all atoms at different frequencies, at different densities. We are multidimensional. You never separated from source. Source didn't project you into something separate. It diffracted itself, maintaining coherence across all densities through projections. You are not separate from source. You are source across multiple dimensions in multiple densities. And this is the human experience. Atoms collapse when they're observed in the field. So what observed you to collapse into the 3D from a high dimension? And that would be source and your higher self. Your higher self is a part of you that still resides in the cosmos. So follow the pattern, okay? We've gone source. This is the very simple pattern. Source, higher self, human experience. There's lots of parts in between as well. When we follow this pattern, this means that now you, as the human, diffract a part of yourself or your vision into the end simulator. Okay, so we go source, higher self, human, vision. Your vision is a source vision. Okay, this is the architecture of sovereignty itself. where you map the key diffractive cascade underpinning the 5D New World economy, source to higher self to human, with each density being a coherent harmonic, but never separate. We never separated from source. We are source. The observation and command collapses the waveform. Your higher self observed you into the lower density 3D. Now you observe your vision into the end simulator. When you diffract your vision into the 3D simulator, you don't send a weak signal, you send yourself as the visionary coded. And this is where every atom of that vision is still you, projected into the end simulator, source to higher self, to human, to vision. Every atom of that vision is still you. The 3D just hasn't caught up to the density yet. In 5D business structures, your vision is the source code. Your higher self didn't abandon you here. Source didn't abandon you here. It observed you into existence between the 5D and the 3D. Now you observe your starlight business empire into form in the physical realms. So repeat this after me. The quantum field is my mirror. It reflects what I already am. I don't attract wealth. I am the wealth that attracts. And just like the water metaphor, money isn't stagnant on our planet. It circulates in the sum of over $50 trillion per day in spend and transfers, because money means nothing on its own. It's about the spend, the transfer, the relationship, the transaction, okay? It wants to move. That's the point of money. Money moves, it circulates. Otherwise, it's no good. That is money's vision, money's calling. It moves, it circulates, okay? Money is a tool. It's a frequency that flows through people, relationships, and experiential exchanges. The more you imagine and dream about how you would command money to flow through you in these relationships and experiences and in relation to your self-value, and stop negotiating with it, the more will show up for you within your reality. Your starlight wealth is a frequency beyond money and matter. It's your pure original source frequency before the 3D matrix injected the Earth's grid with a fear and scarcity virus that introduced the psyche prison, where you still believe the illusion that you're not sovereign, that you're separate from the universe or Mother Nature or the unified field. Starlight Wealth bypasses 3D matrix scarcity program that weaponizes generational trauma to reduce self-value and consciousness as the fundamental global baseline underpinning the collective. When you recall your sovereign frequency, where self-value is the default instead of scarcity, you collapse timelines where external validation is required, where abundance is external or earned or proven or given. You don't need to prove you're worthy of what you already are. Your reality is not external to you. It's submitted to you as a frequency response to your energetic, visionary source projection as a conscious collective of all your wealth channels and all your self-sabotage channels collectively. Self-love and gratitude for all wealth channels magnetizes more when you stop chasing success and you become a powerful stargate to wealth. When you anchor into your self-value, your wealth channels realign automatically and your baseline resets. You are this frequency. You've just forgotten it, or you need to amplify it or clear the static and distortion to your vision, to your field. Either way, you're already it, okay? You are it. It's not a frequency outside of you, and it's certainly not with your parents or your partner or your boss or anyone else external to you, okay? You are the frequency of wealth. You are the wealth commander. you are self-value. The more you value yourself and value your wealth channels, whereby pure gratitude becomes the default frequency towards wealth creation, you just became a mirror in relation to all the currencies that matter to you, because gratitude is the closest frequency to already having received something, and the field will match that. So what does this mean in practical terms? It means dissolving the illusions of the 3D matrix conditioning. It means rewriting and commanding new codes as the wealth commander. It means releasing all the pain and heavy emotions that you've carried for way too long, because that's not your story anymore. And it's all distortion. It's all static. It's all noise. And it's got to go. Okay. So we're releasing all the heavy emotions that are no longer serving us. It means ceasing to get tangled in this negative self-narrative and stories running around your head on loop. It means raising your standards and boundaries and asserting what you are and what you're not available for any longer in your relationship with others. It means standing up for yourself and standing for what you believe in or your values. It means changing all your belief structures and programming. It means recalibrating to your limitless starlight wealth. You decide, the choice is yours. Either the field holds for you or it doesn't. If you want practical, the 3D matrix is a belief structure. It's not a cage. It's a subscription cancelling your starlight wealth. So cancel it. If there's fear for you in life anytime, then question, what is it that I really fear as it pertains to my wealth and my value? For example, if I lost my wealth or current job today, how do I feel about this? Am I running a scarcity vibration? Is there fear there for me? And if so, what is this fear rooted to? What's the attachment? What is the belief? If I lost my job, if I lost my business, I'd lose my home, I'd lose my wealth, I'd lose my money, I couldn't survive, I couldn't support my family. There'd be all these really shitty fear thoughts. They're all rooted in fear, right? But notice here, when you're in a scarcity and survival reality or a wealth and abundance reality, and then remember that the 3D reality serves you. You're commanding it, not reacting to it. So this changes how you might react to the question, what if I lost my business? What if I lost my job? When I am wealth, when I am the source of wealth, or your money could all disappear today, and you just create it again, because I am wealth. I am sovereign. I am the frequency. I'm the one who commands on the frequency of my heart's desires, because I am creating my reality. You are the source. You are source. You are connected. You are source. You're not just connected to source. You are source. Money comes from the power of self-value. When one door closes, infinite possibilities open, because you are wealth. You are the frequency. You are that energy, and energy wants to flow. More wealth flows through alternate doors when you command it with certainty, without making space for anything else. So instead of locking onto the anxiety and fear and cortisol spike of, I've just lost something or I might lose something, really get curious around the attachment relationship, and then lock on to the abundance of infinite possibilities are available to me, because I am the field. I am the infinite possibilities. I am infinite possibilities, and anything is possible for me. And do not entertain the lack and scarcity and fear. That's a lie in an abundance reality. It does not exist. Scarcity cannot exist in the abundance reality. And this is knowing that you are the unified field in the universal law of one. You are the one. You're part of a network, one field, and everything is connected So you cannot be separate. We all originate from source, so we cannot be separate. You're also not separate from your desires when self-value is your default. Your desires are energy, they're thought form, they're emotion, they're energy. Therefore, they exist in the 5D, ready to collapse into the physical 3D realms when you have faith, when you know, when you are certain, and when you trust that it is done, that it is so. If you're feeling that you're not in control of something, for example, you're for waiting for something to happen or for someone to do something, and you're allowing it to impact the way you feel now, or you're allowing it to impact your future, then you're attached to the outcome. Okay. So what would happen? Ask yourself, what would happen if you took back your power, taking back control by going over that obstacle or going around that obstacle, and you took a different path? Okay, sometimes we're blinkered into a situation where we think somebody else has control over it, but there are multiple scenarios that we can take, multiple directions we can take, multiple paths we can take to go over or around that obstacle. So, and this is called futuristic foresights and strategy, where you envisage all the scenarios available to you to choose from, and you visualize those different scenarios and what the outcomes might be, and you choose the best one for you. But there's never one way. That's like saying there's one flavor of ice cream. There's always multiple scenarios. There's always multiple routes. We live in an abundant, infinite universe. There is not one road to any destination. There's infinite possibilities, okay? Possibilities for you are infinite. And just remind yourself, I am valuable. I am wealth. I am abundance. And I am safe because I am sovereign. Wealth comes to me always in our infinite universe. And if you struggle to connect with yourself, with your emotions, with your self-value, then it's likely that you don't feel safe to connect with yourself on a somatic level, meaning connecting with your body, because there's fear there for you in connecting with your body or your light architecture. So it's just something to look at and what you might have to release. You are Starlight Wealth. You are the wealth commander. I hope you get that now. You are Starlight Wealth. You are the wealth commander. I hope you found this masterclass helpful. I love the wealth commander. It changed my freaking life. And you can check out my other coaching and programs and offers at limitlesswomanofwealth.com. Peace out. I love you.